start by having a quick. I think it's beautiful around here. The flowers. I've always noticed when you're going up around this area, the amount of flowers around this Dr. Ryan Centre is beautiful. And you were saying now, PJ, it was only 3 years ago this started, or that was the first time.
A couple of us decided we'd clean it up and whatever, and one thing led to another. Once we started into it, we kind of expanded.
Right.
First we were only going to have 1 or 2 beds, and then we put in a couple of extra beds, and then we sort of went around the outskirts of it and built a rockery there. And
over the corner. Nice. Yes.
That's so.
And who's the way now? I know that you were saying before there's a few of you involved, and now it's kind of come down to yourself. But there was a few of the locals, obviously.
But Jerry Daly was probably, and his brother-in-law Hughie Corcoran. He was the instigators of it, really, and that, and Jerry has started up his own business now, and he doesn't have time to do it. And,
right.
I've been left to my own. I wouldn't call it a community garden anymore now.
It's kind of a one-man show, really.
Just say I'm just the caretaker.
Well, the keeper of the flame too, because it's a lovely idea, and I do think that it definitely adds to obviously it adds to a home, but certainly a community centre where there's just going to be, different groups of people coming here. It just looks much more of a.
It was something for them to look at, and particularly like on Wednesdays here.
The old around there. I know there's more around the side to it because it's quite a huge amount of work, really.
Yeah. The old folks will be here on a Wednesday. They have bingo every Wednesday afternoon, and they have a cup of tea and that with it.
Nice.
Then the last Wednesday of the month they have a lunch for them.
Lovely.
And they like to come out and just ramble around and just have a look and pass remarks about it, so it's nice.
It's definitely, when I was up here for the family fun day recently, and it just sort of struck me, because obviously with the sun shining and all that, as you say, everything looks good in the sun, but especially lush flowers and vegetation, and you've got a whole kind of vegetable patch down here as well. It's a lovely kind of
what we do is basically when things are ripe or whatever and ready to go, that we just give the old folk, let them come out and pick something themselves. If there's anything left over.
Brilliant.
And that,
And what is down there? Is that shallot? I don't know.
There's onion. There's onion sets there.
Right.
And there's scallions, beetroot, carrots, lettuce.
Nice.
And there's rhubarb in the corner.
Oh, I love rhubarb. That cabbage in the middle is huge.
That's an overgrown lettuce, by the way.
Right.
And we have tomato plants there as well. So.
Right. And now, would this be? I don't know whether you're talking about once a week, or is it a little bit more than that? Like, I don't know how.
Well, you could come over. You could spend the whole day here.
Right. Yeah.
I generally just drop over for an hour or two when I nothing else to do, and do a bit. And
cause my dad's a gardener, I should say, and my brother Charlie as well, and just that. It's a spinning play thing. It's like having a dog. You just don't think, well, I'll look after the dog for 3 days and I'll go and leave it for a week. You kind of have to be aware of it all the time.
I think this is what happened with some of the people that were here in the beginning.
Yeah.
When they realised how much was involved.
A garden isn't just for Christmas.
No, it's not.
Or just for the summer.
No.
But it is a beautiful setup, and I don't know whether there's a feeling of that you do such a thing as make plans, or whether it just evolves as you get more flowers, you get your hands on stuff, you add it in, or
it just evolves. Like you get a few bulbs of somebody might drop you in a packet of flowers,
and
that, and you stick them in somewhere. A lot of the stuff like the geraniums and that were regenerated from my own, where I had them and they got old, and I sort of come over and I just stuck them in the ground, and lo and behold, they bloomed.
Good old Ireland were good for the old plants, especially this last year with
the entrance to the school there now is nice as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's the sort of thing that it's subliminal. You don't necessarily always notice it, but you do feel like it's just a much nicer place. It's a much happier place.
And I just look after this end of the estate. Wise as well,
well done. So it's kind of come back to that. I was talking to young Lawless down there. Just the idea that you kind of need to just look after your own patch, because of course we do have local council, and we do have the idea that there's going to be maintenance and all that. But the fact is, naturally, I suppose it can't be all done all the time.
Doesn't happen anymore.
No. And I think I like growing up on the lane now, Blackberry Lane. You'd cut the hedges yourself, because it was just you had to make use of the road, and I think that's kind of coming back to where you just have to sort of think about your patch, as it were, and not just your own garden, obviously, but where you live is so important.
Well, I always, I wouldn't say I'm an expert gardener by any means, but like I enjoy it. I enjoy it, particularly when the sun is shining. I love getting out. And doing it. And like, you know, when you drive down the estate in your car and you see the grass is cut and there's a few flowers about, and that, like, you know, it makes you feel better about the place.
Sure. And I know there's definitely an effect on psychologically. It's like the sunshine itself. It just affects how your day is. You wouldn't even have to mention it or even register it in a big way. It just sort of makes you feel naturally better. It's like, you know, when there's no litter, when there's just
exactly, like if you drive down, there's a whole load of litter on the road.
It suggests a whole different kind of day in a different place. You know?
Like, you know, it only takes 2 or 3 minutes to just go over and pick up a couple of things, and like, I mean, if everybody done it, like, I mean.
Well, to me, it's like to go to having a whiz in your own garden. It just doesn't make sense, you know. You just think you yourself have to live here. You know, it's not like it's not like you're driving through and just think, I don't care about this person's place.
That's value to your house and whatever too. Like, you know, if
it's your everyday feeling of just it's a nice place to be, and because that's all we can really rely on is just, you know, obviously your family, your life, your health, and all that. But where you live is so important that you just, you know, respect each other and have a bit of, you know, obviously fun and all that. But I find now psychologically, if the place is tidy, it just makes everything seem easier and lighter and breezier, and so we'll maybe get a sniper in. I'm convinced we could do it a sniper just for a month, you know, just for litter people. If we take a few of them out, it'll just get the others scared.
Oh yeah.
But well done, beautiful place, and I'd advise anybody taking a walk. It's a nice the black walk is actually quite a nice way to get up to Dalgany or whatever, but certainly just catching these flowers here, and God bless you for the kids, especially at school time. It must be a lovely little kind of treat just to walk into a little garden, really.
Yeah.
Nicely done.